For the first time in 164 years, the United States Marine Corps does not have a commandant.
Ladies and gentlemen, this morning, a private retirement ceremony was conducted in the Marine Family Garden for General Berger, during which he received several laudatory letters from such distinguished persons as the President of the United States, the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of the Navy, and many others. Please join us in congratulating our 38th Commandant on his most distinguished career.
The last one retired yesterday. His replacement won't get filled because Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville is blocking an estimated 265 military promotions over objections to the Pentagon's abortion leave policy. With us now, John J.J. Warren, J.W. Warren, decorated Marine veteran, co-author, Lead Like a Machine, Run Towards a Challenge, Assemble Your Fire Team, and Win Your Next Battle. All right, it's good to see you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
I'm wondering what the grunts make of this.
Well, I'll tell you firsthand that the Marine Corps is never leaderless as long as we have one Marine left. So we currently don't have a commandant, but ultimately, if you look at the United States could be considered leaderless right now. The issue is really, it shouldn't be focused on the senator, it should be focused on the Pentagon. The Pentagon has come up with a woke policy to start providing all of these benefits for abortions. It's never been part of the military before. It's never been voted on. And they're prioritizing that and a woke, ultimately a very woke agenda over our national security.
Well, I've heard the argument, but we got to deal with actually what the facts are, which is the senator isn't holding up all of these promotions over any of what you and others would describe as woke policies in the Pentagon. It's very specific to paying for travel out of state for members of the military who want to have abortions and giving them time off, not paying for the abortions themselves. What I can't understand is that in a time of crisis that we're dealing with right now, why there is not a larger push by Republicans to allow promotions of generals and to stop penalizing effectively generals, their families, colonels, lieutenant colonels, basically because one senator wants to play politics.
Well, I would say it's a huge national security issue, but I would turn it,
hold on. You're saying that whether or not a private first class in South Carolina or Marine at Camp Lejeune, wherever it is, okay, wants to have an abortion, and the fact that they're being paid by the Pentagon pays for their travel out of state to where an abortion is legal, that's a threat to national security?
No, I'm saying not having these promotions is a threat to national security.
Okay. All right, well, then we agree on that.
And the fact of the matter is, Leland, all the Pentagon has to do is change the policy. The policy has never been enacted before. They just enacted it on their own. And the fact of the matter is, the Pentagon is responsible for holding up these promotions. The senator said he was going to do this. The Pentagon did it anyway, and the Pentagon needs to change the policy. Why is the Pentagon promoting abortions over our national security? We need to be focused on winning wars. I'll say this is the same Pentagon that told us for 20 years that the Afghan National Army was a great force. So I think I'm suspect with the Pentagon right now.
All right. Well, yeah, somebody else made the point that you could also, Chuck Schumer could just bring each individual general up for a floor vote. That would solve the problem as well. Although senators would have to be in D.C. during the summer. They don't like that very much. No. It's good to see you. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.